All right, one more NFL wildcard game to go on Monday. I've got three different ways for you to play it, plus a couple free plays in the NBA as well. This is the Power 5 on WagerTalk TV. As I go through these free plays, feel free to comment down below with your thoughts. All I ask is you please smash that like button at some point. Your support is what keeps this kind of content going. And before I get to the picks, just wanted to point out I am on a 23, 12, and 1 all sports run right now over at wagertalk.com. That includes 6 and 2 in the NFL. More on that coming up in just a little bit. But first, let's get into Vikings Rams, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. In case you didn't hear, somehow this game has been moved to Glendale, Arizona due to the wildfires out in Southern California. Talked about it on the previous edition of the Power 5, but the venue change doesn't really alter my handicap of this game too much. I do still like the over at 48. Remember that the total for the Vikings game last week versus the Lions closed at 56.5. Obviously, a very disappointing effort from Sam Darnold there, but that had a lot to do with red zone inefficiency. He's facing a worse defense this week. To that point, I also like Vikings tight end TJ Hockenson to go over 44.5 yards receiving. Note, Hockenson did not play in the regular season meeting between these two teams. I think his absence was a big reason why the Rams won that game 30-27. Now, last Sunday night was not Hockenson's finest hour. He had just 2 catches for 9 yards against the Lions, but to reiterate a point I just made, he's up against a worse defense this week. This is a Rams defense that has allowed the 4th most yards to tight ends this season. Hockenson has had 45 or more yards receiving in 4 of his last 6 games, including 3 of the last 4. On the other side, I like Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua to have a big game and go over 91.5 yards receiving. I'm getting these numbers from FanDuel, by the way. Yes, this is a high number, but Nacua has gone over it 6 of his last 8 games. With the Vikings defense looking to blitz regularly, Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford is going to be looking to go over the top to his favorite receiver, and there's probably going to be some big plays in the passing game involving Nacua. So that's 3 ways to play Monday Night Football. We like the over, we like TJ Hockenson over his receiving yards, and we like Puka Nacua over his receiving yards. If you're interested in my top play for Vikings Rams tonight, you can get it right now at wagertalk.com. Just visit wt.buzz/BP right after you're done watching this video. Disappointing Sunday for yours truly, both in the NFL and overall. I was 1 and 2 in the NFL, 2 and 3 overall. But as I mentioned earlier, still on a 23, 12, and 1 all sports run, including 6 and 2 in the NFL. It was a winning weekend overall, thanks to going 3, 0, and 1 on Saturday. Looking to bounce back with a 4% best bet on tonight's Vikings-Rams matchup. Also, if you're interested in jumping on board for the rest of the NFL playoffs, you can get every pick I release from now, including tonight, through the Super Bowl, and you can get them all for just $99. That's quite the deal. Again, head on over to wt.buzz/BP to take advantage. Now let's turn to basketball. We've got a doubleheader on NBA TV tonight. First game should be a good one. It's the Rockies, or part of the Rockies. The Rockets host the Grizzlies, a matchup of the second and third best teams in the Western Conference right now. It's also a rematch from Thursday when the Rockets won outright as 2.5-point road underdogs, 119-115. They have not played since then, while the Grizzlies were victorious Saturday in Minnesota, 127-125 as 1.5-point underdogs. Tonight, the home team, as you'd expect, is favored, laying 3. That's Houston. But I'm going to take the points with the revenge-minded underdog, Memphis. In today's NBA, we're seeing more and more of these matchups where the teams just played. Taking the team that lost the first meeting generally is the way to go. I also think Memphis is a better team overall. Don't think they're going to fall into a 17-point hole again like they did versus the Rockets on Thursday. One more to go, and it is Spurs-Lakers, 10:40 Eastern tip time. Lakers have not played since Wednesday due to the wildfires. Obviously, it should be a pretty emotional atmosphere tonight in LA, but the Lakers are laying 3.5 to a Spurs team. That's pretty desperate. Off 3 consecutive straight-up and ATS losses. I like the points in this one as well. Just think San Antonio is the better team. I've been wanting to fade the Lakers for quite a while now. They're really fortunate to be in the top 6 in the West when you consider a negative year-to-date point differential, a negative year-to-date net efficiency. Double revenge spot 2 for the Spurs, who lost twice at home to the Lakers back in November. Note, Memphis is playing with double revenge against Houston tonight as well. I think all that time off, leads to a rusty start here for the Lakers. So that is a couple of revenge-minded underdogs I like in the NBA tonight. The Rockets and the Spurs, pardon me, the Grizzlies and the Spurs. That is going to do it for Monday's edition of the Power 5. Hope you enjoyed it. Smash that like button if you did. Make sure you're subscribed to the WagerTalk YouTube channel. And until next time, guys, let's cash some tickets.